Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. This is Parcast TV. I'm your host. Today we have another great game on Theta Crystals. This is a pretty long macro game, so strap in, grab some popcorn. Hopefully this is an entertaining match. Let's begin. So spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Cortex commander, it's Mightsheep. It's been on the channel before. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, as the red Cortex commander, it's Goopy. Theta Crystals, I really enjoyed this map. It's pretty interesting. Just realized that this is just energy reclaim here, if I'm not mistaken, these crystals here. So not going to provide that mass income like some of the reclaim on maps, but nonetheless, energy is a pretty strong resource to have in the bank here, especially in the early game. So I'm sure we'll see both players trying to reclaim that as soon as possible. Goopy's commenting on the wind. Yeah, so average 16, and just right at the start of the game, it's dropping down below 2. So all these early game wind turbines are pretty much useless for both players. Looks like Mightsheep opened up a solar collector, double solar collector before finishing his land factory, and looks like Goopy was just forcing it in there with the double wind turbines, one solar plant to get this construction bot factory up, or excuse me, bot lab. So both players going for bots. Like to see it. I'm pretty big fan of the bots. I need to really study some vehicle plant open. So if y'all have some, high level replays of some of these pro players opening up vehicle plant, please send them to me. I'd like to, cast them, put them in the mastering the early game playlist. Steal those builds for myself. Looks like Mightsheep's opening up one construction bot first. Gonna try expanding into a grunt. Goopy opening up the same construction bot here, just adding on some wind power, not expanding quite yet, and then adding on a grave robber to start on this reclaim. So both players prioritizing expanding that construction bot first. Mightsheep's made the first attacking unit of the game as a grunt, just scurrying his way across the map, using those bipedal legs to traverse the battlefield. And Mightsheep adding on extra power with his commander, so staying inside the main base. Really like this style where you just kind of sit in one place with your commander and try and use up all this starting mass you're dealt. Get that onto the board, spend it up before you move out and try and expand with your commander. So second construction bot heading up to this northern side, dropping down on this low ground and trying to cap those nexus here. Meanwhile, Goopy on the other side of the map is just fanning out his grunts, looking for run-bys, searching for scouts. He's got a couple grunts heading across the map. Looks like these two might end up intercepting each other as they cross the map. And finally, Goopy sending out an expanding engineer here on the right side. Gonna try and take that off. Here's some shots going off. Looks like grunt versus grunt battle going on. Both players sitting about even health. I'm sure they'd trade with each other if they continued fighting. Pretty interesting variation here on the starting position. Mightsheep choosing to spawn on this plateau here. Definitely a much more defensible position, but he's a little slower getting to these, low ground expansions. Meanwhile, Goopy on the other side of the map has chosen to, pick this little valley here as a starting location. That's going to give him access to, expanding left, right, and center, as well as behind him. So, I like Goopy's starting position here. Pretty cool to see a little variation in the placement, among other things in the game. So all grunts all the time. That's what you're going to see here in the early game. Cortex versus Cortex. Love to see these grunt versus grunt battles. Love to see how these players choose to spread out their units across the map and how they're defending their expanding engineers. It looks like Mightsheep's finally getting on the low ground. Here's some shots going off here in the back plateau. Looks like Goopy's able to protect this expanding engineer to the back. It's going to cap these mexes, add on some extra wind power, and it's like on Mightsheep's side of the map, he's just trying to shoo away these grunts of Goopy, sitting there on hold position, not reacting to the shots. And back here, Mighty Sheep losing a construction bot there to 2 grunts. That's not what you want to have happen here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Loses a mech for it. Pretty big pickoff for 2 grunts, and he's still running by. He needs to track these down, and double veterancy grunt is definitely going to win here. I'm sure. 77% HP though, and he's going to run past this light laser tower, and it's going to cost him his life. Here in the middle, got another engagement going on. Mighty Sheep's grunt's pushing across on to Goopy's side of the map, and he's looking for damage, but it's going to be met here with some equal grunt numbers, so that's going to force him to retreat. Here's some shots going off. Looks like this run by is getting damage still. Takes out 2 wind turbines, 3 wind turbines. Still doing damage. Just this one grunt has got quadruple veterancy here. He's going to take out this another solar plant. Solar plant goes down. Finally gets dealt with by... Just kind of vaporized there. Wow. Mighty Sheep finally deals with that run by, so those grunts worth their weight in gold there. Looks like both players kind of posturing up for an attack. Goopy moving in, much better unit density there. He's able to take out all the grunts of Mighty Sheep there, and forces him to flee. So he splits his army up left, splits his army up right, and is going to get chased down by the grunts of Goopy. So like to see these expanding engineers here. Looks like Goopy's going to be going for this high ground here. He's going to cap this mechs and then cap this mechs here on the high ground. Like to see that. He's kind of foregoing expanding on this right side. He wants to get into his opponent's face more quickly, I'm sure. Get onto his side of the map, and expanding engineer up here for Mighty Sheep, capping this last mechs on the left side of the map. Got a little bit of a run by here from Mighty Sheep. Let's see if he can get any damage done. This late laser tower isn't up yet. Top left-hand corner of the map, those grunts are being dealt with. And looks like this run by is going to get captured. As one mech's going to go down, he's going to get one mech's first troubles. He's running back to the running back up into this plateau of Goopy, and I don't see anything to intercept this. This is a proper run by here. He's going to get this engineer, perhaps. Going to get the mechs, and look at this. Goopy already has grave robbers in the middle, rezzing these units, so wasting no time, increasing the size of his army artificially with the units of Mighty Sheep. Another mech goes down, and the engineer goes down. This is a great little counter damage here for the, paying back the favor. Finally goes down, so that run by was dealt with, but not before getting pretty decent amount of damage. So well done. Nice counter damage by Mighty Sheep. And let's take a look at the player claims and main bases. So Goopy still in one factory, sitting at about 20 mass income, 400 power. Take a look at Mighty Sheep, his main base, sitting at about 36 mass per tick. Quite the advantage, and almost 700 power. So he's already adding on construction turrets as well. So gonna start that chain going, get that build power on the map, and looks like we have a battle starting. Turn off this player cam. So Goopy moving on to Mighty Sheep's side of the map, coming over this hill. He's got a grouping of grunts. Looks like both players posturing for an attack, and here he goes. Choose wiser of it, retreats. Doesn't want to run into superior grunt numbers this early in the game and throw your army away. And here on the right side, huge run by. Grunt's coming in. He's going to take out a mech. Going to take out an engineer. Can definitely take on this light laser tower. And here on the top side too, another battle going on. Grunt's moving down. Doesn't really have the numbers to push in, but the real story here is the run by here on the bottom side. Mighty Sheep moving up his commander. Fires a D-gun. Takes out another one. Reinforcing grunts coming in from both sides, and Goopy's going to be shoot away, but here we have another battle on the top side. Grunt versus grunt. Nice unit density here. Charges in, plows through. Going to take out the grunts of Mighty Sheep, and have a proper reclaim field here starting. And where are those res bots? They should be in tow. Here they are. Four grave robbers coming to the battlefield. Going to start picking up these units, increasing the size of Goopy's army. Run by on the right is dealt with. Shoot away. Mighty Sheep's commander coming down. He's going to try and take this expansion, and a nice little bit of reclaim here. Nice little bit of mass left on the battlefield. And Goopy's pushing in. He's got a grouping of grunts. He wants to attack, but it's going to be shoot away by the grunts of Mighty Sheep. And so far, both players doing a great job of avoiding each other's armies, really. Keeping those grunt numbers high. And taking a small little, shaving off a couple grunts here, but not really committing to a full engagement. Looks like Goopy's putting up a radar tower. He's got an exploiter armed metal extractor here. Love it, taking his opponent's metal extractor, and he's going to push in for an attack, but not sure if this is going to work out too well for him. Maybe he just wants to trade out units. Both players lose a couple grunts, and look at these grave robbers just doing work here, picking up these units so fast, full health units for free on the battlefield. Hopefully he can incorporate those units into their army instead of just letting them fall to this larger group of grunts. But yeah, he's going to group up his army again and push in for an attack. Mightsheep's quick to react, pulls back, doesn't lose too many units. Looks like we have another run by here on the right side. That's going to be thwarted by this LLT going up by Mightsheep's commander. And here on the top side, Goopy's trying to poke. He's trying to get damage done. Takes out our radars, moving in. Probably going to back up here. Now, Mightsheep has his own little hit squad of grave robbers out on the map, so those are definitely going to be useful here. And run by on the bottom side, Mightsheep doesn't have the proper coverage, doesn't have units in position. Is Goopy going to react in time? Yeah, he's sending these units in for a run by. Nice damage done. Nice. Gonna take out a mech's for his trouble. Gonna go for this LLT. I'm sure he can push in here in time, but reinforcing grunts are on the way. Little battle here on the middle side. Goopy pushing in. Grunt versus grunt battle. Fighting in front of the guard tower is not going to work out for him too well if he stays and fights, but he's just going to run past it. Run by on the bottom side is going to get cleaned up, and let's take a look at the main base here. Goopy has a vehicle plant on the board. It's got 6 construction turrets already, sitting at about 28 mass per tick, 500 power. Goopy on their side of the map, just on the 1 bot lab so far. It's got 2 construction turrets up and is starting an aircraft factory, so aircraft plant. Still, Goopy is sitting on top of Mightsheep's side of the map. This is great use. Have a Lasher missile truck out on the map. That's going to outrange these grunts here. Going to outrange the guard towers for sure. And this little grave robber hit squad is not doing its best job picking up this mass, picking up those bots there. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, that reclaim was picked up here. Looks like these grave robbers are just doing work, repairing what they can, salvaging what they can. And a nice little isolated pocket of LLT's metal extractor radar is going to go down to the units of Goopy here. So nice little pick off, just shaving off that portion of your opponent's army. And Mightsheep, he's done having it. He's rotating around the side of the map. He's tired of getting attacked on his side. He wants to take the pressure off of his flank here and force his opponent to react on this side of the map. So definitely good to see. We have these pounder tanks make short work of these Tech 1 grunts. Takes out 2, takes out 4. 4 for the cost of 1 tank, not bad. Here on the right side, Mightsheep pushing in. It's going to take out this engineer, hopefully, putting up the light laser tower. Yeah, it takes out the engineer, pushing in. Superior grunt numbers. Goopy trying to get in position to deny this run by, and it's going to be shoot away. He's going to shoot away Mightsheep. 2 grunts get by. He's going to give chase. He's got to run those down. Those are some rezzed grunts. And here we have these missile trucks outranging these light laser towers. Not going to stay up for long. Protected by these pounder tanks. And look at this group of res bots. He's coming in here. He's going to pick up this mass. He's going to pick up these units for free. Mightsheep has reclaimed control of that little battlefield there. And this run by on the right side is keeping Goopy distracted. So well played here to kind of take control of his side of the map and take control of the reclaim field. Huge fleet of grave robbers. Wow, look at all these. 20-something grave robbers. Doing work. Mightsheep commander really far forward on the right side. He's expanding. He's just trying to lock down his side of the map. Trying to cap all his mexes. Construction gang here putting up these exploiter armed metal extractors. I actually might start using these on the fringes of my base. I mean, they're a little extra. I think they're 5 times the mass. But definitely not as vulnerable as those paper-thin metal extractors you see. And pounder tanks finally going to take out the last LLT of Goopy on blue side of the map. And the game seems to be stabilizing here. Both players sitting at about 41 mass income. Blue way up in power, though. 1.3k to 700 power. And here we are, Tech 2 phase of the game. Looks like Mightsheep salvaged both his vehicle and bot factory. The game slowed down enough. He felt confident enough to put up this Tech 2 and is stalling mass, but he should be getting this out relatively quickly. No more production, just putting all his mass into hitting that Tech 2 factory out. Small engagement on the right side, another player really committing. And here comes the bombers of Goopy, so let's take a look at the damage they can get. Trying to go for a bombing run. He hesitates there. I think he would have gotten that off and definitely kind of misses a shot. He's going to give Goopy a moment to put up some SAM turrets, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's got one SAM going up, assisted by these construction bots. He's got another Thistle Tower going up behind it, so this SAM is going to make short work of these bombers. So here we go. Bombing run. Takes out some windmills. Back a windmill. Takes out all this energy pocketed up here at the cost of a couple bombers. He's going to be able to get another bombing run off, I'm sure. Run by on the right side is being chased down by Goopy here. And looks like there's a strong force in the middle, so we'll take a look at that here in a second. Let's see how effective this second bombing run is. Not as good as the first. Takes out some build power. Just going to drop blue down to 700 power per tick, so wind power nearly cut in half there. And Goopy's finally cleaning up this right side expansion. He's going to take out those LLTs and take control of this little hill here, little plateau. Goopy on the other side wants to take back this hill, and he's going to be pushing up here on the far left side of the map. These missile trucks seem relatively effective against these grunts, doing some kind of like knockback damage. It's cool to see. Knock back those lighter units. Didn't know that was a thing. Goopy stopped producing out of his Verifactor. I'd love to see some more air transports used, you know, throwing those on around the side of the map, bypassing all this point defense. You know, dropping here with a sizable force of units could definitely take Mightsheep by surprise, but these pounder tanks holding strong, shooting back the Tech 1 army of Goopy. And let's see where Mightsheep's at with these Tech 2 units. So he has his advanced bot lab up, has a advanced construction bot out going to Tech 2 mexes, so, and he is pumping out Fiends, fast assault bots here, so those are going to be hitting the battlefield pretty shortly. Definitely make short work of these Tech 1 units. These grunts are no match for the Fiend. Fast moving. They have decent armor, decent speed. All around strong Tech 2 unit. Looks like he's moving them to this left side, anticipating an attack there. Really love this unit movement here. Mightsheep definitely took control of the game. He was getting pressured pretty hard by Red here on his side of the map, and used that run by earlier to kind of distract his opponent to secure this position, and now look at it. 4 LLTs. He's got missile trucks, got Tech 2 units. Exploiter armed metal extractors. So definitely a nice move to see. Let's take a look at the main base, both players again. Mightsheep sitting at about 71 mass income per tick. Hugely assisted Tech 2 power plant, or Tech 2 advanced bot lab. He has 6 construction turrets assisting that. Trying to get control of this high ground here, and these Fiends, you know, just throwing them at the army. Look at those. Oof. And yeah, let's look at Red. Goopy's side of the map here. Take a look at his main base. Sitting at about 44 mass per tick, so definitely quite the deficit, about 800 power. Producing out of a land factory, vehicle plant, sorry, bot lab, and his aircraft plant's back online. Looks like he's making some flying construction bots there. So definitely advantage to Mightsheep right now. He's way ahead in mass income. Take a look at the statistics. Yeah, nearly 10k ahead in mass produced. So definitely give him the advantage. And Goopy's pushing down again. He's going to take this advantage. Looks like Mightsheep was a little out of position with his units, trying to group up for an attack on the right side. His units in the middle coming back to defend. And Goopy's just going to press down, try and take out these turrets, take out a couple mexes, take out the radar. Doesn't want to go too deep on his opponent's side of the map and leave that mass for him to reclaim, let alone resurrect with this little pack of res bots he has. So looks like we got a nice little force of Fiends forming, about half a dozen, 8 of them so far, just trying to come in here, clean up the units that are pouring on into his side of the map and cut off the reinforcements for this chunk here that's going for a little run by. Taking out turrets, and looks like Goopy's massing up for an attack on the right side. Kind of a little hesitates, moves to the left, moves back to the right. A little unsure of these unit movements here, and he has his own pack of grave robbers up on the top, and 4 Fiends going to take on these 8 tanks, 8 brute tanks. Let's see how they do. Looks like he ended up control Kang those, control D. Just doesn't want to give the mass to his opponent. And looks like those Fiends are gathering back on the left side here, so Fiends are going to shoo Goopy away from that reclaim field. And what is this? Fusion reactor going up, so Mighty Sheep wasting no time going to Tech 3 power. Tech 2 power, I guess you'd call it. I think I'd call these advanced fusion. Advanced fusion reactors I'd call Tech 3, I suppose. Little battle going on here on this hill. Fiend's getting pushed back. Can't take on infinite amount of Tech 1 units, so they're going to get cleaned up, pushed back off this reclaim field for a second. That's going to give goopy a second to start rezzing bots with these grave robbers. And definitely don't want to give your opponent free reign over a pretty big, sizable reclaim field of Tech 2 units. Attack Fresh commenting. Goop won all the game so far. So, look at this Dragon Moss turret just roasting these grunts. Can't stand in front of a turret, Goopy. Oh, losing so many units. Tech 1 army here, Goopy. Still hasn't made the change to Tech 2. He's sitting on the vehicle plant, bot lab. Hasn't decided to make the switch though, and is producing these construction aircraft. Small little run by on the right side of grunts is gonna get cleaned up. Cleaned up by the fiends. Make sure we're working. I love how fast these are. You know, they're not the most stable Tech 2 unit, but they're definitely quick. And in that early part of that phase, that Tech 2 switch, definitely good to get out. Looks like he's just spitting them out. So many construction turrets being added on, so Mighty Sheep preparing for the next phase of the game. Meanwhile, Goopy still on this Tech 1. He hasn't made the transition yet, and these fiends are growing in number. You know, Tech 1 can handle these Tech 2 units in low numbers, but once they start passing, definitely going to be an issue here. These fiends making sure we're roasting these armies. Wow, look at that damage. You have a run by here on the right side. Going to be cleaned up by this pop-up Scorpion battery. I haven't seen this before. That makes pretty cool. Shoots missiles at those Tech 1 units, so cleans them up pretty well. Another push in here by Goopy. Red player pushing through. Moved on the blue side of the map. He's just trying to make space for these grave robbers, really. He's able to reclaim most of what was already here. That was great. I wonder if he's putting that. No, he's actually rezzing these units, so great work. Look at this little run by though. 4 grunts going to take out so many grave robbers though. You want to protect these guys. They're definitely paper thin. So many of them going down. That's not what you want to have happen. Looks like we got a group of fiends here forming again. A couple brutes on the right side. Holding strong, and these fiends are growing in number. He's up to 13. 13 fiends versus 20 brutes. I mean, I think we know who's going to win this battle. More on the way. Look at these just pouring out of the main base of Mighty Sheep. Yeah, he's going to step forward with the fiends. Here they go, roasting the tanks. Red's trying to retreat, trying to pull back, protecting those grave robbers, and a couple grunts moving in on the right side of flank. So able to pull back. These brutes handling themselves decently well against the fiends. But just look at that production just pouring out of the base of Mighty Sheep. He is on so many construction turrets now. 15 construction turrets assisting this advanced bot lab. He's trying to get another fusion reactor up. Trying to get another bot lab produced. Not sure what that's for. He's probably going to be adding on extra grave robbers with that. Little run by here on the right side, taking out a mechs. And Goopy's not backing down. He's on blue side of the map. He's controlling this plateau here. Adding on turrets, adding on radar, utilizing these grave robbers to, you know, pick up the units from the previous battle. And these brutes are holding decently well against the fiends, so well, looks like Mighty Sheep's not having it. He's making these mammoth heavy assault tanks. 2,200 mass compared to the 200 of the fiends, so 10x more mass coming on the battlefield in these 1 units. Realizing the fiends are not really strong enough to get the job done he wants to see. And look at this mass disparity so far. 116 mass per tick to 48 in favor of Mighty Sheep. So longer this battle goes on, the more and more ahead he's going to get. The wider this deficit is. So far 27 excuse me, 27k metal produced difference so far in this game. 23 minutes in. A little run by here on the right side, shut down by an exploiter armed metal extractor. I really like seeing these. I'm going to start making those. Definitely not as cheap as the 50 mass Tech 1 mass extractor, but definitely worth it to help, you know, protect your economy while you're over here busy microing battles on your opponent's side of the map. Pretty cool little arc of fiends here, just roasting armies when you can. And where's that Tech 2? Where's that Tech 2 assault bot? Here we are. Mammoth heavy armored assault bot moving onto the battlefield. It's slow, but I'm sure that gun packs a pretty big punch, and a huge army of huge army of tanks here on Mighty Sheep's side of the map, and he just can't really he can't do damage. Huge minefield too. These are pretty cool to see. He's already making mines. Wonder what that's from, not sure. Don't see a mine layer anywhere. And it looks like the grave robbers of Mighty Sheep are going to get cleaned up by this push, and Goopy's going for it. He's moving on the left side, but there's a minefield here, and I'm not sure. Let's see how effective these mines are against these tanks. He has no idea they're here. He's rolling right into this minefield. Let's see him go off. One goes off. Slows down the units. So much damage. Wow, those are really effective. And with these fiends on the top of the hill, that's going to push Goopy back, but these vehicles are slow to turn, slow to retreat, and these fiends are right on top of that army, so they're going to get roasted. Pulls back for a second, and wow, look at the range on this heavily armored tank, just blasting. Slowly moving forward. Mighty Sheep taken off of the game has so much build power on the board. Look at this build power. He's just spitting out these mammoths, 2,200 mass at a time, no problem. And this kind of Tech 2 unit is gonna shoo away the entire Tech 1 army of Goopy, so it's gonna give Mighty Sheep control of this this side of the map. And what does it matter? He has so many Tech 2 mexes built already. Look at this man, just going crazy with the build power. Huge economy, 4K energy protect, 134 mass, just spitting out mammoths one after one. Look at this, so many. Got 2 bot labs produced. Not sure why he made 2. Probably he knows why. I'd guess for the grave robbers. Look at these lasers just shooing away this army. Waiting for a grouping of mammoth tanks. He already has 4 on the battlefield, moving right over to his opponent's side of the map. So Goopy needs to find a response for this. Finally puts up an advanced vehicle lab of himself, but so far behind in economy right now. He is 8 turrets up, 8 construction turrets assisting, but is stalling on mass, sitting at 48 mass per tick, and still hasn't controlled his side of the map. So this game is drawing to a close, I'm sure. Mighty Sheep's going to group these mammoths together and just make a push across the map. Goopy pushing down, wants to take out this mammoth. Takes out a tank, takes out another tank. He's pulling back, dropping down 85% health. How many shots this thing can eat? Just roasting tanks. So he's protecting that with the fiends. Small little run by on the right side is going to get dealt with. Just a couple brutes. That's cute. Here is some construction aircraft capping these mexes on the high plateaus. Can't really access those by bots. And I hear this laser going off. This mammoth shooing away this Tech 1 army. Can't even get in range to attack it. And if he does, he's going to get roasted by these fiends. 14 fiends ready to go, ready to pounce. And they have a second mammoth tank coming up. Outranging these T1 turrets, outranging construction bots, 3-shotting that. I'm going to 4-shot that turret. And Goopy's pressing down. He's going to try to go for it again. He's targeting this mammoth tank. Drops down below 50% health, but look how many shots this thing. I mean, he rolls through with his entire Tech 1 army. Can't even take out a single mammoth tank. Or bot, excuse me. Heavily armored assault bot. And these fiends are going to roll forward, so shoo away this army more. Yeah, this tank saved it health at less than 10% health, so great way of microing your units. And Mighty Sheep finally getting on the side of Goopy's map, and looks like he's even pushing forward on this right side here. Look at this. So many fiends just rolling through the defenses of Goopy. And that's it. He's going to call it. Taps out 27 minutes in the game. Wow. Let's just look at this player camera. Look at the base here. Mighty Sheep just completely spread out across the map. Has so much energy. So much build power. What a game. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this kind of content. If you are so inclined, I'd like to ask you to please like and subscribe to the video. Just kind of helps me know what y'all like to see, what I should be focusing on. So if you enjoy these barcasts, if you enjoy bar as a game and want to see it grow, please consider liking, subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.